Hey folks, super awesome, exciting episode today. Trapping with Jinx. I'm glad you're here with me. Before we get started in this episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you're new. Turn the bell notifications on, that way you don't miss anything. And enjoy this video. Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks, and awesome, ready for an awesome episode. Preseason Trapping with Jinx. Hope you guys are super excited. This is kind of one of my last preseason episodes. You're gonna see how I'm gonna take my cables or my snares straight out of the box and prepare those. That'll be in this episode. Here's kind of the end product. I'll just show you a sneak peek. That's kind of what they look like, nice and blended in, looking like grass. I'm gonna do all my my stakes as well, my disposables. You'll also see that in today's episode. So we're gonna go out on the line. I'm gonna show you some new properties I'm working on. I am state hopping a bit. I've got four or five brand new properties in another state. I'm gonna go over and check those out. If you're like me, one of the last things I hate doing is on opening day, I go out and I spend opening day or half of opening day scouting. What I don't like to do is I pretty much have already planned all of my November into December. What I like to do, since I'm gonna try and trap 100 coyotes this year and get a lot of volume, I'm gonna go out and pre-look at those spots. That way opening day starts, I'm setting traps, I'm setting snares, I'm setting cables, whatever it is, and I'm gonna just catch. And that's kind of the goal, is to keep setting traps, keep moving properties, and hopefully get it all squeezed in before the weather shuts me down or slows me down. So that's kind of the goal of this video. You'll see some of that, and I'm glad you're with me. So let's go check some properties out, and we're gonna do some gear stuff. Hey, hopefully the wind's not too bad. It's kind of windy. I want to show you this location. This is the kind of stuff I'm kind of looking for. These are those magnet areas where the coyotes are going to be working or hunting. I just will show you this real quick. Here's a nice buck. Big buck right there. You've got this filter strip, and then you've got these big brush piles right here, right there. The coyotes are hunting this. There's no doubt about it. This is always going to have a food source, big magnet. So I'm usually going to trap on the top piece here. And then these filter strips are always good. So maybe there's some cabling opportunities right in here as they kind of transition up. But I'm not going to pass these little filter spots. So I always like to set off the corner of these as they kind of work. And you'll catch off these. So this is definitely a hot spot for me. Just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, so I'm on the bottom end of this kind of filter strip. I wanted to show you, I broke all that down. I'm putting it all in my login. I did take you to a spot that I kind of liked, and I went ahead and put it in a mock set. So this is north. I'm going, using the wind to my advantage, going northwest. There's a little trail that comes off of here. Probably going to be a lot of raccoons running off that, but at the same time, I wanted two intersections on this spot. This is a big creek system, goes that way. Probably going to make a set right in here too, but I wanted to make sure that we make a catch right here. I did like this spot right in here. I'll probably make another set right in here as they transition all that filter strip. But that's kind of, I just wanted to share you guys with you this real quick set. And I've already logged it in, and I went ahead and pre-baited it. Of course I didn't set my trap, it's not trapping season, but I just thought I would poke that in right there. A little bit of practice, get the muscles going, and let's go check out, see what else is going on. Okay guys, I brought you to a completely different country. It's really rough, up and down. This pasture type grass, big timbers, lots of little ditches and stuff. This is a ditch here. I brought you to a crossing. So we've got the ditch going this direction, a fence row going that direction, and then we've got some feeder stuff that leads into another piece over that way. So I'm just gonna let you know how I kind of set this. So north-south is this way. I'm gonna set my trap right where my hat is on this corner piece, so that the wind will come across this direction That's kind of what I'm going to do. If the wind changes, it comes out of the east, I'm still catching this. If the wind changes, goes to the south, I'm still catching this ditch behind me. This is probably going to be one of my top producing sets, just because of the location with where the wind would be. A secondary set would be maybe right here. Right here, I'm thinking. If you had a south wind, you know, that would be a secondary spot. So that was just kind of a suggestion that I had on this piece. I do anticipate catching right here. This is a good spot. There's a big timber over the hill that way. Everything kind of funnels into this spot, and then it leads into a bigger system that way. So this is going to be one of those spots I'm going to look forward to checking every day. But I thought I'd let you know kind of how I set that. I am playing the wind, and then it's just a matter of putting the right set in and the right bait and the right lure, right guys? So this will be my last stop. Let's get into what I'm doing in the shop. All right, so I'm doing about 100 of these. Just painted those quick links. I got my drivers back, and boy, I'm super impressed this time with he totally changed out that handle on the top part. It's really heavy duty on this one, and then he reinforced this driver here. If you watched one of my other episodes, you could see I tear up my drivers so bad. And these two, I got 3 altogether. Those 3 should get me through the season. And then I was just doing another mouse auger and putting some orange on my stuff. So let's go. All right, guys, don't judge my shop. It's a mess. But I have logged in. I got about 4 hours today just making steaks. I've got about 30 hours altogether in my preseason stuff, and I haven't really started working any of my traps, or not my traps, but my land. So I've got all my traps dyed, waxed. I've got all my copper tags on top of those. I did all my waxed dirt. You guys saw that last video, hopefully. And I dyed a bunch of traps, waxed a bunch of traps. And now all I have left to do is my cable restraints, my snares. I've got to get the wax off of those, and I got to paint those. But I did work on anchors today. Here's what I've got so far. This is about 300 anchors altogether. A lot of this is my overstock. The plan is to get all my stuff and my gear for whatever will last me through the season. I don't want to make a bunch of these anchors when it's time to be trapping. When it's time to be trapping, I'm running traps, and that's what I want to be doing. That's it. So I've got, these are the 1/8 size. The cable, they're a little bit bigger. I just did these today. Believe it or not, there's 4 dozen right there. About 2-3 hours just to do 4 dozen. And then these are the smaller size. I think it's 3/32. And then these are my cable restraints. I've got 75 of those. So that's pretty much my extra. That's my overstock. As I kind of go through the season, I'll break the cables and the stakes, and I'm just gonna grab and go. I'm not gonna mess with making 2 hours. If I've got to spend 2 hours working on stuff like that, that's 2 hours taking on my trapping season. I'm burning daylight. So that's kind of why I'm doing that. It's a pretty simple operation. I've got some good videos on that. Hey, let me show you what I got at the Kansas convention real quick. All right, this is a mess. I just told you that. Sorry, I apologize for the mess, but I've got I did buy some stuff through Keg Creek. Marty Smith, he's got some good DP bait. So new and improved regular coon crunch, and then bite me coon crunch. Gonna try those two. He's got a new one. It's called Moab. I've been kind of wanting to try this. It's a skunk meat base. Apparently he's got some good results off of it. I talked to Marty about getting me hooked up with some of that, and he did. So those were my baits that I got. But I bought a bunch of hardware out there. I had to get all of my stuff for my steaks, and I had a good time out there at the Kansas convention. They always do a great job out there. I was able to watch Robert Waddell and his demo again. That's the second time I watched him this year. And then I wanted to watch Marty Smith. He did a great job on his demo as well, of course, as usual. This is a great time. I was able to go out there, and I was glad to be able to do it. So without further ado, guys, I'm pretty much caught up. Just got to work on my four-wheeler a little bit, start loading up my truck, and got to get out there in the next 2 weeks and start running my land. I'm cold rolling about 2,000 to 3,000 acres almost, somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 acres, in a new state, two new states, and it's going to be a lot of work. So that's what I've been up to. That's what I'm working on. Let's get to the work outside. Let's go do that. Okay, guys, here's the real reason why I brought you to this preseason video. I know I've done a lot of ranting so far. I've talked a lot about my preparation for this season. There's really a lot of work that goes into having a long, successful season. I'd like to catch a lot of numbers. I want to hit my goals this year. 100 coyotes is kind of my goal, but you know, why not go for more, right? So here we go. Here's this process. Now, I thought about this earlier. I thought, well, it's a real basic thing, but for this video is more or less for you guys just starting out. There's a lot of things that I do that's totally not perfect, and there's a lot of things I also do that I know I already micromanage. So, you know, if this isn't in your best interest, then you know, you can improvise as you want. But here's kind of, I'm going to run you through what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and then how I'm doing it along the way. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna boil my snares when they come in. If you're brand new to trapping, I'm cabling and I'm snaring in 3 different states. So Missouri is completely different from Iowa and Kansas. But when you first get your cables, they come in real bright and they have the oil still on them. So those are the 2 reasons why we're doing this process straight out of the box. At bare minimum, even if you're into your trapping season and you ain't got no time, the last thing you need to do is at least take those to the car wash, hose them off. Or this is probably my way of doing it. I think it's pretty good. It works well for me. But these are real bright. The one thing that we want on our snares and our cables is we want them to be completely invisible and odor-free when we set those in our trails. We don't want them seeing them at all. The whole idea of the snare or the cable restraint is they're going down the trail, they have no idea, and they get a collar right around their neck. That's how we got them. Now, if they can smell that, if they can see that, those are our 2 worst enemies. So that's why we're doing this. So straight off the bat, they're bright. You can see they're probably shining a little bit. We want to take out that brightness and we want to dull them a little bit. We also want to take off the oil and the grease because they're going to have oil and grease from them. I also want to do all of my anchors. So those are my snare anchors, my cable restraint anchors. And I've got all of my overstock on my my other anchors, my trap anchors. So I'm going as far as even what I put in the ground, even that little inch or 2, I want that to be odor free, no oils, no stains. That's how I'm doing it. And there you go. That's kind of, here's what a finished product looks like, and I'll kind of show you that in the end. So you could probably barely see that. This one's a lighter brown. I'll take off the dullness on that. I'll spray paint those. There's a little darker color. You probably can't even see that, I don't think, with that background. And that's the whole idea of that. But if I hadn't have done that, they'd be bright. The moon would shine off of them. And that's not what we're looking for. Okay, guys, so I got my turkey fryer back out. This is the same fryer that I cooked for all of my waxing of my traps. I boiled some water. I cleaned off the inside of that container really well. I will boil that water in baking soda. I've got my baking soda, there it is. I've already put the baking soda in there. I usually let it sit 20-30 seconds at most, not very long, just long enough to cut that grease. And then I have a cold water bucket they'll go into from there. So it goes from here to here for a few seconds, and then I hang those up generally. I air hang those to dry so that and then later on, the last part of that process is to spray paint those whatever color you guys want. That's what makes it kind of fun. So I'm boiling my water now. This total project probably will last me about an hour, hour and a half. Hopefully everything goes well. But well, I think I got my water right where I want it. And I think I'm gonna do my Kansas snares first, just because I'm gonna try and keep them separate. Kansas is a little more on the loose side on laws. Just gonna drop them in. Make sure they get all in there as best as they can. And I'm just gonna boil them long enough to take off that grease. Go from here to my water bucket. And that's it. It's that simple. And then from there, I just hang them up. Okay guys, so you can see how dirty that water looks. It's horrible. And even this water here is pretty dirty too. Of course, some of that come off my gloves. I did the anchors last because I want a really good job on my cables. And just dipped them in that cold water and just look how bad it comes. Usually there'll be a big ring of oil on the side of that. And that's how dirty those cables come. Straight from the manufacturer. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, right? All right guys, got everything nice and hung up. I think I pretty much have everything just the way I kind of like it. Put my Iowa snares over here by themselves, and then all of my anchors, and then my Missouri ones are kind of here. And I'm just kind of getting everything kind of lined out. I'll let that dry probably a good day or half a day. I could be ready to paint that anytime, really. Okay guys, so I just went ahead and jumped in, and I went ahead and sprayed them with this camouflage type paint. It's this tan color. I didn't spray all of them. I'm strategically trying to do my other two states different from the state that I live in. So I sprayed the state that I'm living in that color there. It comes out pretty good. I will put one more coat on it, maybe even a darker color, to kind of camouflage it a little better. The main thing when you do this, of course, I'm gonna leave about a good week or two on these, let them air really good. But the main thing is you want to get these swivel points and the bottom pieces there. You want to make sure those get covered really good, because they're the bulkier part of the cable or the snare. I think even the lock at the top, make sure it gets really good and camouflaged. Looks like the rest of it. Other than that, I did this one here a little bit different. I use a Formula 1. It's a water base trap dye. You can buy that. It's NB Formula 1. I will do about a gallon, and what I do is I put it in a bucket and I put a lid on top of that. So I always have that available for this purpose. And I'll put another layer on that. That'll dull that color. But it comes out a little more OD kind of green, and I will do the locks a little better. And then the rest of them, I'll either do the Formula 1 with the cables, or I just spray paint those. And I don't need to. I probably just, this top 3 inches is all that needs to get done. Especially with my cable restraint, my snare anchors. Just this top piece around the loop. That'll all be showing. And there you go. That was the process. I'll put at least one more of these on that, maybe a different color, blend them a little better. And then the main thing is on these, before I set them, I always like to set them out a good week, at least air them out. When I put them in my truck, I put them in their own special container along with the pig supports, or because I don't want the blood or the coyote smells from my catches getting on my cables. We want these to be as invisible as possible. So sight and smell are our two biggest enemies on our cable restraints, and that's how I'm gonna blend my stuff. So I know it was a real basic video. I do apologize. I hope you guys can forgive me. I just always kind of figure there's probably somebody out there that would like to see how I'm preparing my snares and my cable restraints. But yeah, if you like this type of video, let me know in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I should be started on my trapping season. So I'm pretty excited. Everything's coming together. All I've got left to do is my land. I've logged in pretty close to 30 hours just on my prep. So it's been a long haul. So it is kind of what it is. So stay tuned. I'll keep kicking out. Maybe this will probably be my last episode before I start catching. So should be really a great time. Hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. Otherwise, click the big thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. I'm Jinx, and have a great day.